Google did it again. Google released 2 phones today. It's kind of just like what Apple did. Apple released 3 phones, the iPhone 8, the iPhone 8 Plus, and the beautiful, gorgeous iPhone X. Also, the iPhone 8 has bezels on the top and bottom, while the iPhone X only has a very slim bezel on the top. So one phone has bezels and one phone doesn't. Google is copying the same thing. Google released a phone with bezels and one with slimmer bezels. But the one with bezels is called the Google Pixel 2. And that phone costs $650. This is about the same price as the iPhone 7 Plus, or a little more expensive than the iPhone 7 Plus right now. But the phone with a little less of a bezel is called the Google Pixel 2 XL, and that phone costs $850. But this is my first opinions on the Google Pixel 2. I'll talk about it more in depth in a future video along with all the other Google products that Google released today. But today is just my first thoughts on the Google Pixel 2 and Google Pixel 2 XL. That name's a mouthful. Google Pixel 2 XL. Compared to a simple name, iPhone X. Whatever, it's Google's choice, not mine. But man, if I was in charge of designing the Google Pixel 2 XL and the Google Pixel 2, I would have made it look much nicer. In my opinion, the phone is ugly. And I mean really ugly. Just look at it. On the back, 25% of it is glass, the rest of it is aluminum. On the front, you have stereo speakers on the top and bottom. Nice feature, but that doesn't make it look good. And if you're looking at the regular Google Pixel, that has huge bezels on the top and bottom. Huge! And you cannot forget that the power button is a different color. It's either red or this greenish color. Who wants their power button to be a different color? It looks good on the Apple Watch Series 3, I'll admit that. But who wants that on their phone? Especially with all these different colors, it just doesn't even look good at all. And if you take a look at the back, the aluminum doesn't curve into the camera, so you don't get that nice camera bump feel. It just sticks out, just like the 6S, and that doesn't feel good. But overall, the phone is just ugly. I'd love to hear your opinions on the Google Pixel 2's design in the comment section below. But man, I just think it's so ugly. The Samsung Note 8, the Samsung S8, those phones actually look good. I don't mind having that phone in my hand and looking at it day to day. But for me to have a Google Pixel 2 in my hand and having to use that day to day, I would probably throw up every other day. Not even kidding. I've already said it enough, but it is ugly. But Google with this phone finally added some necessary features. Google finally added stereo speakers. Yes, finally! A company other than Apple has finally added stereo speakers back to their phones. The iPhone 8 gets nice and loud, and the Google Pixel 2 should do the same. And now I'm just truly waiting on Samsung to add it. TikTok, the Google Pixel 2 has IP67 water resistance. Finally again too! Water resistance is almost a necessary feature on a phone. It's an extremely nice insurance policy if you drop your phone in water in the pool, if you spill a drink on it. If it's water resistant, you don't have to worry about the phone breaking. And the Google Pixel 2 is water resistant. Also, the Google Pixel 2 now has portrait mode on the front and back facing camera. The first portrait pictures that are coming from the Google Pixel 2 right now, they honestly look bad. It's because the Google Pixel 2 doesn't have dual cameras, but I'll get into that in a second. It's all software, so the camera is just guessing on where to blur the background. It doesn't truly know. So those portrait pictures aren't gonna look nearly as good as the Note 8s and the iPhone X, or even the iPhone 7 Plus. Or even, honestly, the OnePlus 5, which that has a dual camera and that allows for the camera to perfectly measure where to blur the background. The Google Pixel 2 is just one shooter, which means not perfect blur effect. The Pixel 2 has squeezable sides. The Pixel 2 is not the first phone to do this, but Google added this feature so you can launch the Google Assistant. At least it's not its own button. Samsung. So if you squeeze the sides of the phone, that launches the Google Assistant. And lastly, there is no headphone jack. Finally! This is hilarious. It's actually funny how the Google Pixel 2 doesn't have a headphone jack. Google last year with their very first phone made in fun of Apple for removing the headphone jack. And now this year, they're doing the exact same thing. I told you, once Apple removes the headphone jack, all the other companies are gonna follow Apple. The Essential phone doesn't have a headphone jack, and now the Google Pixel 2 doesn't have a headphone jack. Trust me, Samsung is next. Maybe not next year, maybe not even the year after that, but Samsung is going to remove the headphone jack eventually because wireless is the future. It truly is. Now let's talk about the features that Google Pixel 2 still doesn't have. For one, it doesn't have a dual camera. And with no dual camera, you're not gonna get crisp portrait mode pictures. You're gonna get the ugly software ones, but you're not gonna get the beautiful crisp portrait mode pictures that are on the iPhone X and the Note 8. Also, with the dual camera, you get to zoom in 2 times and not lose any quality at all. If I'm buying a phone in 2017, it better have a dual camera because I want all the cameras I could possibly get. The Google Pixel 2 still can't wirelessly charge. Now that's a big issue. Once Apple does something, like removing the headphone jack, everyone is going to adopt it. Every third-party manufacturer is going to adjust to the iPhone design changes. This year, that change was wireless charging. And now since the iPhone has it, you're gonna start seeing wireless chargers everywhere. You're gonna start seeing them at friends' houses. You're gonna start seeing them at fast food places, at restaurants, at airports. You're gonna start seeing wireless chargers everywhere because most phones in this world can wirelessly charge. But guess what? The Google Pixel 2 can't. The Pixel 2 also doesn't have any facial recognition security system. It just has the regular old fingerprint sensor, which works well. But with that 3D facial recognition on the iPhone X, you get an emoji. And guess what? The Google Pixel 2 doesn't have an emoji. Most people don't care about emojis. But when you care about emojis, you go in hard. And an emoji lets you go in hard. And lastly, the Google Pixel 2 still doesn't have a beautiful, simplistic design. Last year on the bottom front of the phone, there was this huge chin. There was no stereo speakers, there was no home button, there was nothing but just a huge chin. You could have put a larger screen, but no, just leave the huge chin out. That phone was modest looking. It didn't look the worst, but it didn't look the best. Now this year, it just looks like a toy. It honestly just looks like a toy. Looks like you could give this to a kindergartner and it's gonna be his little phone. But you're not gonna give this to kids for the price. This phone reminds me of the iPhone 5C, but the iPhone 5C actually looked good, unlike the Google Pixel 2. The regular Pixel 2 comes in 3 colors. Black, white, and kinda blue. Kinda blue is the actual name of the color. It's not the dark blue like last year, it's this light baby blue. Lighter than this blue on my shirt right now. While the Google Pixel 2 XL only comes in 2 colors, white and black, just like the iPhone X. I honestly really don't like the Google Pixel 2's design. It's honestly ugly on the front and on the back. Pretty big bezel on the front. And yes, the Google Pixel 2 XL still has pretty big bezels on the front. It's really sad that 2017, the year of removing bezels, the Pixel 2 still has huge bezels on the front. And you cannot forget the back looks ugly too, especially that red power button. Why, Google? Why? I'm sure the Google Pixel 2 has a great camera, but every other place, the Google Pixel 2 is just slacking compared to Samsung and Apple. It definitely doesn't have the best design. It's definitely not the fastest phone. Definitely doesn't have any of those extra features, but at least it can compete in the camera department. And that's good enough for many people. As long as it has a good camera, but a terrible design and a terrible display, as long as it has a good camera, people are fine with that. I'll make a video this week on all of the Google products that Google announced yesterday, but this video is just on my thoughts on the Google Pixel 2. I'd love to hear your opinions on the Google Pixel 2 in the comment section below. I'm very interested to hear your comments because I sure got mine. Subscribe right here to stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.